Well, I see you still have yet to stab me in my sleep. Good girl. Hey, put that butter knife down. Where were you even keeping that? You know, never mind. I probably do not want to know. Well, I suppose that means you have finally given up on killing me. You certainly had plenty of chances while I slept. Are you quite sure you don't want to rule this country yourself? All that lovely power, all to yourself? Don't tempt you? Fair enough. Besides, then you would have to deal with the nobles all by yourself. I know how much you hate those pretentious assholes. I've seen the faces you make behind their backs. I give you a month before you snap and kill one of them. I suppose we will see. Yes?
Your Majesties, a fire has broken out in the nearby town of Old Northton. The fire threatens to consume the village. Lord Northton is requesting a reduction in his taxes to make up for the expected loss of revenue.
Is this fire still ongoing?
Yes, Your Majesty.
And is he sending the town aid to quench the fire?
Well, Lord Northton was sure that the fire would die out on its own before it could spread to other villages and cause even greater economic harm. He did not deem it worth...
Silence. Alert my soldiers. We will march to Northton and provide what aid we can. Lieutenant Walter, take your platoon and put out fires. Sergeant Grigorovich, take 2 squads and organize a safe area with medical supplies for the townspeople. The rest of you will rescue survivors from the rubble under command of the Queen and I. You 2, check under that building. You 4, pull that rubble off of him. The fires are all put out. All villagers are accounted for, alive or otherwise. Now all that remains to be done is helping to rebuild and prepare for the winter. Winter is nearly upon us, and most of the preparations these people made will have gone up in flames after all. You're surprised I'm doing this? Now, what kind of king would I be if I refused aid to subjects under my control? Their own lord did not send a single retainer to help put out the fire, and I doubt he will send any aid now that the immediate danger has passed. I know that aiding these people does not help me stay in power, nor does it keep my head any further from the chopping block. But at the same time, what is the point of having power if you do not use it for something? Oh dear, sweetie, you are looking at me as if you think someone kidnapped me and took my place. I assure you, I truly am myself right now. I've simply had some time to think recently. My predecessor used his power to try and cement his name in the history books. I don't want that. If people are going to grow up reading about the blood-stained king, I'd rather they just not learn about me at all. No, the legacy I want is to save one more life than I took, to make at least one more life worth living than all the lives that I ruined. I'm going to have to work on this for quite some time. But it is best not to dwell on that right now. There is much work to be done.
I'm sorry, my queen, but we can't stack the firewood that way. If we stack it bark down, Yes, I understand that you are in charge. Yes, I'm extremely grateful your soldiers are providing supplies for us. I understand that bark down prevents moisture on the ground from soaking it, but the blood-stained king. I mean, Your Majesty.
My apologies for startling you, but I could not help overhearing your conversation with my wife.
Oh, fuck.
Would you please describe to me how exactly you would stack the firewood?
Well, you see, Your Majesty, we stack the firewood bark side down on the bottom, but bark side up on every other layer. Bark side up on every layer, but the bottom wards off rain better, and still lets the bottom layer of wood have the bark facing down to prevent moisture from soaking up from the ground.
Very well. Please instruct these soldiers. They will assist you with this task until there is a sufficient stockpile.
Yes, my liege.
These people have survived many winters, sweetie. They know how to store their firewood. They have lived this way their entire lives, and their families did so for many generations before them. I know it must seem that we are more intelligent or know something they don't, due to being richer and more successful. After all, if they were as smart or as hard-working as us, would they not have been born in our position? But please bear in mind that these people's ways of life have worked for hundreds of years. They understand the way their world works, and we are mere outsiders. So it is important that before you try and help them, you ask them how best you can help. For some villages, they may very well need knowledge of skills or organization that you can give them. For others, they may need food to overcome a famine, or materials to weatherproof their homes in preparation for a harsh winter. Still others will need very different things. But regardless, it will always be best if you ask them and work together with them to figure out how best you can help. Okay, sweetie? That's a good girl. The last house has been rebuilt. It is truly amazing what can be accomplished with enough soldiers helping. Even feats unrelated to bloodshed, like this one. Where are you going, sweetie? To take a break? Very well. I suppose you must be exhausted. You worked hard and saved many people. Well done, sweetie. Rest well.
Well, hello there, my queen. I and these fine men with me have been sent here by the lord of this land to, help with the rebuilding. He received word that your majesties were personally taking part in the rebuilding, and, thought to offer his aid. Too late. Most of the work has already been completed. My sincerest apologies. Oh, would that we had arrived sooner. Oh, as a token of my apology, please, have some water. You look quite parched. Refreshing. Good to hear. I put cucumbers and mint in it. Ooh, and some honey. They'll cover up the taste. It's an old family recipe. Oh, my mom taught it to me when I was a mere child. The trick is to get the amount of honey, just right. Ha! Why am I still talking to you instead of going to find out if there's anything I can do to help? Oh, now, please don't be so rude. We've only just arrived, and I for one am quite tired. Oh, surely you could use some company. Not buying it, huh? Oh, that's fine. I just wanted to buy some time for the poison to take effect anyway. And it looks to me. Oh, like it's starting to weaken you already. What do you plan to do with that puny blade? Ooh, there are 6 of us, and, we're all better armed. It's time to accept your death, my queen. Well, I suppose they don't call you the hero of Litria for nothing. Holding us off with a mere knife. Well, poisoned? Oh, the bards. Oh, they would sing tales of this. If we were going to leave enough of you for them to figure out what happened. Why? Why are we doing this? Well, I suppose it doesn't matter if I tell you. You'll soon be dead. Anyway. Oh, when you married the blood-stained king and joined your kingdom of Litria with our Scarlet Kingdom. Oh, the king brought many of the nobles from Litria in to join the ranks of his own nobles. And, well, this diluted the power of the older and more influential Scarlet Kingdom nobles. And you might say that they don't exactly appreciate that. Fortunately, there is a simple solution. Your death. Once you die, the alliance between our 2 kingdoms will fail, and your nobles will no longer be around to weaken the power of our nobles. And then we can simply take the rest of your land for ourselves. As it should have been from the start. And it won't be long now. I can already see you starting to become sluggish. I'll bet that you can, barely even hold that knife right now. Oh, and now you're completely defenseless. It's time to accept your death, my queen. You!
Oh dear, sweetie. You seem to be in quite the pickle. Just hold on a second while I dispose of these people. There we go. Just one left.
Hold on now. We can talk this out. I surrender.
I do so prefer opponents who know when it is time to give in. Soldiers, seize him. I will attend to the queen. Well done, sweetie. Holding off 6 assassins is quite the feat, especially with only a knife. Are you okay, sweetie? Can you stand? Here, I will carry you. Sweetie? Sweetie, you're burning up. Try to stay awake, sweetie. The doctors will be here shortly. Sweetie? Say something. Anything. Oh gods, she is delirious. Just stay awake, okay, sweetie? You frustrated my every plan when our armies fought. You're the only one who was ever my equal in strategy or swordplay. Even locked in my dungeon, you still kept me on my toes. Someone like you cannot die to those lowlifes. Don't close your eyes. Sweetie, you can't die. I need you. You cannot leave me. You cannot leave me.